Hi everyone, I wanted to just give you some information about the midterm exam that's coming up this week. November 16th is Thursday, and that is the first day that the midterm exam will be available. It's an online quiz, the same as the ones that you're used to doing. And I do realize that sometimes it's frustrating that you can't show your work and get part marks, but a lot of people are now catching on to the idea that you should be sending me your rough work, especially for your major assessments like your unit tests and exams and things like that. And so, unless of course you get perfect when you write it, and then you don't need to bother doing that. But if you feel like there might be some part marks that I didn't see because the computer just marks your final answer, then please do that. I want everybody to have the highest mark possible. So this midterm exam counts for 15% of your total mark, and the final exam in January will count for the other 15%. It's because the course sort of naturally divides into two different halves in terms of topics, and so we're done all the statistics stuff right now, and we're going to start into the probability and counting part of the course for the rest of the semester. So what you want to do is use the practice exam that I have posted, and you can find that in the review section on the Google Calendar. Here's what it looks like, and this is exactly like the questions on the real midterm. So if you can do everything on here, you should be able to do really, really well on the actual midterm. And I'm hoping that you'll pace out your time a little bit so that you can practice all of these questions before writing the midterm and still have time to contact me to ask for help or post to the discussion board and help each other to make sure that you understand it fully before you attempt the midterm. I do want to make sure that everyone is aware that there is a deadline also on the midterm. Just like with the unit tests, there's a closing date, and I always advertise those closing dates on the announcement section of our homepage well in advance so that you know that's coming. And I also email everybody who hasn't written a certain unit test to let you know if you haven't done it by the deadline so that you can get that finished. On the midterm, there's exactly 1 week for you to complete the midterm. So if you're not quite ready by the 16th, and I hope you will be because I've added in some review days in behind there so that you have a few days without any new material that you should be reviewing and trying the practice exam. If you still don't feel like you're ready to write it on the 16th, then you can have up to 7 more days to prepare. We will be starting into Unit 4, so it'll be up to you to catch up at that point if you choose to spend more time preparing for the midterm before you write it. I want everybody to do as well as they possibly can on the midterm, and that's why it's set up like that. However, if you miss the midterm deadline, the 23rd of November, there will not be a second chance to write that midterm. And unfortunately, that means that people who have not submitted their midterm will get 0 on that 15% evaluation. I don't want that to happen, obviously. I want everybody to do really well. And I want to stress how important it is that you're aware of that deadline and get that in before the 23rd. I had 2 students last year who missed that deadline, and it was really hard both for them and for me to have to say to them that that deadline had passed and they could no longer write their exam. That was a very difficult thing on both sides, so I hope that we don't have to repeat that experience again this year. If you have any questions about the midterm, please email me right away and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks.